Stoffel Vandoorne, a name that Formula E fans will be more than familiar with. However, Formula 1 fans may not have heard in a while, and if you watch both, shush. In the feeder series, Stoffel had outstanding potential, however this took a nosedive upon reaching Formula 1. This sparked my interest, resulting in my YouTube-infused brain demanding me to make a video on the Belgian. Therefore, today we're going to be looking at Stoffel Vandoorne, from hero to zero. Stoffel Vandoorne was born on the 26th of March 1992, making him a ripe 28-year-old as of the 10th of March 2021. Vandoorne began motorsport at the age of 6 during a visit to the kart track of World Karts with his dad. Vandoorne started karting after the owner of the track gave him a mini-kart due to his blatant potential. So basically he went to a track and was given a kart for free. For free. That is literally the sort of thing I used to dream about. But I suppose there's no point giving me a kart when I'm going to spend 90% of a 20-minute session facing the wrong way. Stoffel was not the most financially stable, initially only affording to compete in 3 or 4 races a year. However, by the age of 16, he was the Belgian KF2 champion. In 2009, he won the steering wheel competition held by the Royal Automobile Club of Belgium. The prize money of €45,000 helped him start a career racing in Formula 4 Euro Cup 1.6. This appeared to be the start of a fairy tale, with the unlikely underdog progressing at a young age. His debut in single-seaters could not have gone better. Vandoorne absolutely dominated the season, picking up 151 points with 5 wins and 9 podiums. He didn't finish outside the top 5 once, apart from the first race at Hungary due to an issue. This kid was a prodigy, winning everything against all odds. The next season, he placed P5 in the 2011 Formula Renault 2.0, behind more experienced drivers such as smooth operator Vodka and Will Stevens. Stoffel only scraped 1 podium, with an abundance of P4s, 5s and 6s. But this was good for a rookie, eh? The same year, Stoffel attended the Northern Formula Renault 2.0 Euro Cup. The Belgian would place 3rd in the championship, still winless however, but picking up an array of podiums, behind Sainz and Kvyat. In 2012, Vandoorne won the Formula Renault Euro Cup, beating out the likes of Nick de Vries, Daniel Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Alexander Albon, and Dan Cammish. Stoffel's performances were unbeatable, scoring 4 wins and 11 podiums out of the 14 races. This caught the eye of McLaren, who immediately signed him into the McLaren Driver Academy. However, unluckily for Stoffel, there would be no more episodes of Toon. In 2013, Stoffel was promoted to the Formula Renault 3.5 with Fortec Motorsport. The battle for the championship would be between 2 McLaren Junior drivers, Stoffel Vandoorne and Kevin Magnussen. Stoffel lost out to Kevin Magnussen, however, his results were exactly where they needed to be, picking up a slew of wins and podiums over the course of the season. Somehow, Magnussen's performances this season were enough to promote him to McLaren for the 2014 season, where he'd be driving a chromed out car with a raging erection. Stoffel, on the other hand, would spend a couple of seasons in the GP2 series with ART-GP. The 2014 GP2 series was won by Jolyon Palmer, who for once was alert on a street circuit. Stoffel came a close P2 in his debut season, exceeding everyone's expectations. But then again, in 2014 the series was about as competitive as a race on Ridge Racer. Vandoorne sported a McLaren-inspired livery and picked up 4 wins and 10 podiums, which is unheard of for a first season in GP2. Notable drivers he beat include Felipe Nasser, Johnny Cecotto Jr. and Daniel Abt, who would later be a rival in the series where the curbs are louder than the engine. 2015 GP2 series was comprehensively thrashed by Vandoorne. One of the most dominant GP2 seasons in history, in fact. Stoffel scored a whopping 341.5 points, 160 points ahead of Alexander Rossi in second. The Belgian didn't finish outside the top 10 once, with 7 wins and 16 podiums. So I know what you're thinking. Surely this kid's gonna get promoted to Formula 1 the following year. No. McLaren decided to run a lineup consisting of 2 dinosaurs and Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button. This lineup was fine, I guess, with Fernando Alonso being the clear faster driver. However, it wasn't over for Vandoorne, who had a chance to replace Fernando Alonso for the Bahrain Grand Prix, after the Spaniard attempted some acrobatics in Melbourne. Stoffel did not fail to deliver, picking up a P10 in his debut, being the first reserve to score points on debut since Sebastian Vettel in 2007. This put Stoffel in the spotlight after demonstrating his immense pace, allowing people to believe that he was the next superstar. Unfortunately though, this would be his only appearance in the 2016 season. This brings us to his highly anticipated debut in 2017, signing for McLaren after Jenson Button's departure. Stoffel picked up P13 at the first race in Melbourne, which was a fantastic result considering the fact that the car demonstrated almost no pace in pre-season testing. However, the 2017 McLaren car proved to be about as reliable as a TVR Tuscan Speed 6. Seriously, I swear I only see those things on the side of the road. Stoffel suffered 6 reliability injury-related retirements over the course of the season, resulting in only a few points finishes at Hungary, Singapore and Malaysia. Vandoorne scored only 13 points. However, this wasn't far off his much more experienced teammate, Fernando Alonso, who had 17. Honestly, Stoffel probably felt like he'd downgraded back to Formula Renault. Regardless of the car's abhorrent pace, he still had good battles with the likes of Romain Grosjean and Esteban Ocon, really demonstrating his racecraft and pace. However, because the car had about as much engine power as a 1.2-litre straight 4, people didn't appreciate his talent behind the wheel. This brings us to 2018, where McLaren was slightly quicker. At Melbourne anyway. The new papaya livery drove the team to a double points finish in the first 2 races. Alonso would consistently score more points than Vandoorne from this point forward, which really didn't cut it for the fans, completely ignoring the fact that Alonso was a 2-time champion and, well, veteran. People frowned upon Vandoorne's 38-point deficit. Okay, when I say it out loud, it sounds a lot worse. This wasn't good enough for McLaren, who decided to replace him with Lando Norris. However, Mercedes saw his potential and signed him as the, simulator driver. That's literally the F1 equivalent of those who can't do... Oh, that was a voice crack and a half. Those who can't do, teach. Stoffel decided that he would try his luck in Formula E for the 2018 to 2019 season. This did not go terribly well for the Belgian, who competed with HWA Racelab. Vandoorne finished 16th in the championship in his debut season, which was tolerable, I guess, but not the kind of result that the 2015 Vandoorne would have scored. However, in the 2019 to 20 season, he came second in the championship with the Mercedes Formula E team, which was a much better result. Later in the year, in the Formula 1 world, Lewis Hamilton contracted the no-no virus before the Sakir Grand Prix. As Mercedes F1 team's reserve driver, it looked like Stoffel could have a chance to take the world by storm and demonstrate his worth in the fastest car in the world. But Russell said no. The shots of Vandoorne sat on the pit wall watching Russell makes me cry every time. The only valid contribution that he had now were the virtual Grand Prix, but who really cares? I mean, Pieface drives for Alfa Romeo. Anyway, enough of me rambling, let me pass you over to Mr. Famous Man John Warren for his thoughts on the Belgian.
For me personally, my first ever experience with Stoffel Vandoorne as anything other than just a generic midfield driver was in the F1 2018 game. And now, you might be wondering why I'm bothering to tell you this. And to be honest, so am I. But anyway, I signed for McLaren in the game alongside Stoffel Vandoorne, and at the end of the season I was second in the standings, with Vandoorne finishing a mere 15th. Okay, I will be honest here, I did have the difficulty on like 70%, but hey, it basically sums up what Vandoorne is like in my mind. Admittedly, you can't judge a driver by his performances in a video game, but my opinion of Vandoorne has for some reason been formulated around his AI's inability to match my own terrible pace in F1 2018. However, I'm not here to waffle about F1 games. That's kind of what I do on my own channel. So what are my honest opinions of Stoffel Vandoorne? Well, I think if he wasn't forced into being Fernando Alonso's slave for the short time he was in F1, he would probably still be there at McLaren, in a car that's now proven itself to be able to score podiums. Being worse than Fernando Alonso in your rookie season is kind of a given, however there is a chance that it dented his confidence in F1 and maybe he wouldn't have gone on to have such success ever. Being a part of the Mercedes team for Stoffel seems to have been a blessing and a curse, as although he's now experiencing some decent success in Formula Hoover, he keeps getting sidelined for George Russell, and let's be honest here, Mercedes aren't going to sign Stoffel instead of George. However, even though I've just spent the last minute and a half slating the guy, I really like him. Maybe it's just because I enjoyed beating him in F1 games, but he seems like such a fun guy to be around, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for him. But yeah, thank you very much to Dylan for having me on, and remember to subscribe to me if you aren't already.
Anyway, thank you John, but what are my thoughts? I believe that Vandoorne's junior career was a typical, against all odds, rookie hero who had the talent to get to the top. That is exactly how he started. I know how it feels being a youngster trying to get into motorsport, and let's be real, this channel is the closest thing I've come to the industry. His performances prior to Formula 1 were fantastic, however due to McLaren's attempt at creating the slowest 2017 spec F1 car, he didn't really get a chance to show his worth. Yes, his seat in Formula E isn't anything to be ashamed of, however it is a huge shame that he couldn't maintain a drive in Formula 1. The real issue is the fact that the majority of people are unaware of his incredible performances prior to Formula 1, and don't give him credit for the talent he clearly has. Anyway, as always, they are just my opinions. Please let me know yours in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video enough to watch more, please remember to subscribe to this channel, and if you do so, I will see you all in the next video. But until then, take care, and thank you all very much for watching.